In this video we are looking at a panel of single crochet, also known as double crochet in Australia and Britain. It's also known as the Amigurumi stitch. So when you look at this fabric, it's quite dense, it's quite thick, and it's very durable. It's great for edging, borders, cuffs, all that sort of stuff. But it's actually the stitch that is used in Amigurumi, which is a Japanese style of cute toys. And you can see why on my very loved Baymax Amigurumi doll that I made my son, that it's a very durable fabric, great for, you know, throwing around as boys do. And yeah, it's very moldable and you get great shapes, very easy to fasten on extra bits and pieces for fingers and things like that. So that's also known as the Amigurumi stitch. So we're going to recreate this panel of single crochet or double crochet. But since I'm in Australia, I will be calling it the double crochet. To get started, we get our slip knot. If you don't know how to do a slip knot, there is a video for that and also a foundation row. So we're going to yarn over and create 10 stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to look for our right side up, so we want the V's, not the crocodile's back. And from there, the way to count your stitches is you exclude the stitch on the hook and then you count the V's. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now to do a single crochet you need to build a ladder of 1. So that means that your stitches go up and have a nice wall to start from, as opposed to if you just started your stitches, they'd go off diagonally. So to do that, we're going to create a chain 1, which will build our ladder up, and then we're going to work in the, not that stitch we just made, but the first stitch after that. So straight into the V, insert, yarn over at the back, pull through to the front. At this point you should have 2 stitches on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And that there is essentially the single crochet or double crochet. So we're going to continue along the row, insert into the V, yarn over at the back, pull through to the front, yarn over, through 2, and continue along. Noticing that I'm holding the work with my thumb and my middle fingers. And because my yarn is so chunky, I'm choosing the knife and fork position. So coming from the top of the work, so I can really work that fabric. Okay, and now I'm coming into my last stitch here. You can tell that's the last one because it's the one that comes out of the little knot at the end, or at the beginning. Okay, so we've reached the end of the row. That should be 10 stitches. And the way to count that is, this is the front, we flip that to the top, and we're going to count those V's. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when we're working front and back fabric or flat fabric, when we get to the end, we turn the work like the page of a book. So we flip the page over. Now we're going to start the next row with a chain 1 to build our ladder. And if you get stuck on which is the first stitch to work into, my sample here is quite gappy, so you can actually see that first stitch right there. But essentially, if you do get stuck with some finer yarn, just remember to flip your work up, and you want to pick up both sides of the first V. So to show you that, we go into the front and the back, and you can see there I've picked up both sides of the first V. So yarn over through 2, and then you just work your way back to the other side of the fabric. And then when you come up to the last stitch on this side, you can see that's our last V to pick up. Still going to insert through the front to the back, yarn over through 1, and square that off. Sorry, that was yarn over through 2. And you can see that we're starting to get that second row. So same thing, we're going to turn the page of a book, readjust our hands, chain 1 to build a ladder so we have nice tall stitches, and we're going to insert into that first chain space below. And as the fabric grows, it becomes easier and easier to hold with your left hand as you get more fabric to grip. And if you're unsure at this stage about holding your hook or getting proper tension on your yarn, there are tutorials on my YouTube channel that touch on those subjects. Okay, so we want to make sure we pick up front and back. Yarn over through 2. And at every point, or especially when you're beginning, it's always good to just do a quick recount of your stitches, because you can tend to lose a stitch every once in a while, and you'll find that rather than making a square shape, your fabric will become a triangle shape, which is great for bikinis but not so much for square blankets. Yeah, so the other thing to note is this edge here is actually a finished edge, so technically there's nothing more that you would need to do if you were finished your crochet project. Now if we had completed the whole square, at this point what we would do is get some scissors and snip off enough to darn, or tuck that end in. You're going to yarn over and just pull through that last stitch and snug that back away. And that is how you create a single crochet in America, double crochet in Australia and UK, or the amigurumi stitch.